gotten yourself into some trouble, I'm here to help. I understand. Sword and Shield are coming out. Let's see. It's gonna be Friday when I post this. So Sword and Shield are coming out 2 weeks from today. I know, it happened. You were with your friends, you were talking smack, you were like, Sword and Shield are coming out, I'm gonna body you, right? And now you're worried. Do you have money on the line? It doesn't matter, your pride is on the line, right? And you're thinking, okay, you've set a date maybe. Maybe you're saying, okay, 1 week after release, we're gonna battle. Loser has to eat an egg, something horrible. I get it. I've been there, okay? I'm here to help. I'm your guy. So, today, we're taking a look at... I've looked through the whole returning Pokemon decks, and I've got kind of like an initial list of... The games haven't come out yet. We don't have that much information. Here's like a very, very early on, very kind of basic combinations and strategies you can use to succeed in the early metagame, I think. Given that it's not, you keep in mind it's not a complete list. Keep in mind it's not, there's some flaws. The fact that we don't know any of the, like most of the new Pokemon, we don't know anything about the new Pokemon. There's going to be issues, but these are very flexible strategies, and they're things that you can build in, and you can kind of take the core concepts from and move them and change them around and replace the pieces. So this is really just here for food for thought. So, I've got 5 strategies here. 5 kind of combinations that I want to talk about, and these are just like my initial look, like very quick look, and like I wouldn't say these are going to be great for tournament for the most part, because in 2 out of 3, like some of them are abusable and you can figure them out, but early metagame should be fun. It should give you an edge over your competitors, and I have 5. I have them kind of ranked in terms of worst to best, but yeah, like it's more a personal preference thing. They're all, for the most part, they're pretty different types of strategies, so yeah, just keep that in mind. Anyway, first one is Weavile and one of the Rotom forms. This is all for double battles, by the way. If you've agreed to battle your friends, insist on double battles. They're not going to be as familiar with it if this is like a casual thing for you. Insist on double battles in general. Just trust me on this one. These strategies are all for doubles. But yeah, so we have Weavile and one of the Rotom forms, and the Rotom forms being Scarfed. And the reason for this is that the main strategy here is that Max Darkness is a dark type attack. What happens when you Dynamax a Pokemon, and it lowers both of the target's special defense stats. So there's a couple of ways you can abuse this. The idea is you have a fast Pokemon with a dark type attack, and you pair that with a fast special attacker. So if a Pokemon is threatening to you, you Dynamax your Pokemon with a dark type attack, and then you quickly, before the opponent can react or can deal with it, you fire off a powerful special attack with your special attacker. So the foe has to take both the dark type attack and the partner's special attack. Does that make sense? So the idea here is with Weavile and a Choice Scarf Rotom, this speed stat underspeeds the Weavile. It hits Weavile's 194 and Rotom's 192 effective stat. So it makes it like pretty much faster than most in the metagame. So the idea here is that you can use Max Darkness on either Pokemon. It will lower both both opponent's special defense stats. Then with your Rotom, if you want Rotom W or Rotom H, fire off a powerful special attack, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, and maintain pressure that way. The Rotoms have good natural bulk, so if you target correctly, like you should be able to pick up a KO. Even Pokemon like Tyranitar probably don't want to take Max Darkness and then -1 Hydro Pump, for example. But yeah, this can pretty much work with any fast Dark type and any fast Pokemon with a Dark move, and then any fast special attacker. You don't even need the speed, and like it's not inherently important, but that was the strategy I came up with, and people love Weavile, so that's a cool thing. This is more of a traditional bulky offense kind of strategy. Hitmontop is the main. This is basically Hitmontop for support, and then something to set up. Fake Out, Close Combat, Wide Guard, and Feint are great support moves on Hitmontop. Oh yeah, and guys, just by the way, like if you're interested in this kind of competitive content and strategies and stuff, it's gonna be much more the focus when the games actually drop, when we have the information, and yeah, expect a lot more of this, much more like in depth, much more thought through. Just because right now I don't have that much information, so this is just like a teaser. But it is good to get the gears turning, get started thinking about it. But yeah, next up anyway, we have Hitmontop and then Sweeper. So the idea here is Hitmontop plus Tyranitar. Hitmontop has Intimidate, which is an amazing ability. It lowers both the opponent's attack stats when it switches in. I have Ogwolf Berry. You can do Eject Button. You can do other stuff on there. There might be some new items that are good for Hitmontop. The idea here is that you use Fake Out on the opponent and then Dragon Edge the Tyranitar, and now you have a powerful a powerful boosted Tyranitar. If they use a move that's not a fighting type move that's super effective, you can get the weakness policy boost, and then your Tyranitar becomes especially threatening. And against like ground type Pokemon with Earthquake, you have Wide Guard. So yeah, this is a strategy that doesn't necessarily make use of Dynamax. It's just a good solid strategy. I have Togekiss here because it's a solid support Pokemon. Follow Me, Tailwind, Air Slash, all super useful moves. There's no Sand Rush Pokemon in the decks right now, so that's why we don't have something like Excadrill here. Excadrill's also, like Swords Dance Excadrill would also be pretty good. You could also do pretty much any kind of setup sweeper. The other one that caught my eye was Gyarados, but Hitmontop in general supports Tyranitar a bit better than it supports Gyarados, I would argue. Just because, yeah, like Gyarados' 4 times weakness is, I don't know, Double Intimidated is already scary because we know that Pokemon like Bisharp are in the decks. Yeah. So, I like Hitmontop Tyranitar better, but you can do it with Gyarados as well. Or any boosting Pokemon you can do it with. You could do Dragon Dance regular Charizard, but I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, and then, yeah, like I said, Togekiss is just there, like, very good general support. If you had these 3, you would want another very offensive Pokemon. Probably not even a setup sweeper, just a regular sweeper, just something fast and strong. Fast, strong, special attacker pairs well with this core. Next up, this is a cool strategy that I think is really, really neat. We also don't know too much about Dynamax. Like, I think there's a chance that when you Dynamax, you lose your item. Like, just thinking about the game from a competitive standpoint, I feel like that would make sense. Like, I would kind of expect them to do something like that. The idea here is that you have Fake Tears, Whimsicott, and Choice Scarf Hydreigon. So, you should outspeed, and the moves also, oh yeah, moves kind of are up for grabs. Like, Weavile, you have your 4th move, I didn't even put here because it's personal preference. Rotom, you don't need Volt Switch if you don't want it. You don't need Trick if you don't want it. You can run Hidden Powers. Hitmontop, if it gets Helping Hand, that's an option. T-Char's moves, you can do different stuff, potentially. And then Togekiss, again, you can kind of mess around with. But yeah, Whimsicott, I think you want Fake Tears, Moonblast, and Energy Ball. Last move is kind of personal preference. Depending on the rest of the team, you can run Tailwind, you can run Encore. I like Encore if I'm running Fake Tears. Not that I ever do this, but if I were to do it. But yeah, basically, these 2 Pokemon are very fast. Whimsicott is super fast and also has Prankster, meaning that Fake Tears will always go first. And Hydreigon with a Choice Scarf is super scary. So the idea here is that you can use Fake Tears with Whimsicott and drop something special defense and then hit it with a very powerful move, Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, or Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, or another coverage move if you want it, or Dark Pulse, and hopefully use it to get a KO right away. The other really interesting option is, let's say you want to hit something with, like, let's say they have, like, I don't know, like a Dark type, right? And you can't go for, let's say they have Tyranitar. Tyranitar's not the best example, but like, let's say they have like a Dark type and you need it gone. They have a Dark type you need gone, and like, you can't Fake Tears Draco Meteor it, but you can't Fake Tears it because Dark types are immune to Prankster. What you can do is you can max move your or you can Dynamax your Hydreigon, Dark Pulse the partner Pokemon or the Dark type, Dark Pulse one of the Pokemon, change it into Max Darkness, drop both target special defense stats, and now you've got effectively Choice Specs Whimsicott hitting something with Moonblast or Energy Ball. So that's also an option if, for example, you need to take, like, you want to take 2 KOs in a turn, which is a typical weakness of kind of Whimsicott plus something strategies, is that you can only ever Fake Tears 1 Pokemon. So if your opponent makes smart trades, your strategy becomes a lot weaker. However, with this kind of strategy, you can fire off a powerful Dark type attack with Hydreigon and a powerful attack with Whimsicott on the same turn, because of Max Darkness's ability to drop the special defense stat. So, yeah. So I thought that was pretty neat. I thought that was like a cool application. Again, depends a lot on. This is all like very, very general theory, but it should at least get you thinking. Another option here, you could also run Gengar over Whimsicott. You wouldn't be having the Fake Tears ability, but you could run an offensive Gengar. And you would just plan on Dynamaxing your Hydreigon every time, and going from there. So, yeah, that's the 3rd strategy. The 4th strategy, this one could be number 1, but like I feel like if people are watching this video who aren't as familiar with VGC, this one is like, it requires a little bit more. The choices that you have to make are like less obvious. So I have it as the second, like number 2 on my list. But it's, yeah, Mimikyu, Snorlax. I have Torkoal here as an optional partner. But yeah, Mimikyu and Snorlax, the idea here is you set Trick Room with Mimikyu as you Belly Drum, or if you're worried, you can Protect. Mimikyu is very hard to stop setting Trick Room. You need to double up into it if you want to stop it, or you need to roar it out, or you need to double taunt it, or like there's a couple ways of doing it, but it's pretty tricky. And if the opponent doesn't have good ways of dealing with it, if they haven't specifically prepped for it, very easy to just run away with with Mimikyu Snorlax. So the idea here is you belly drum as you trigger him. Snorlax is now so slow, and now you can sweep with Snorlax and you can psych up with Mimikyu. It's a very powerful strategy. As a reserve kind of sweeper, you can also have Torkoal. So you can have Sun Core if you're interested in Sunlight, depending on what Sun Sweepers are revealed. You could pair Shiftry with this, fake out, trigger him, and then explode, or just explode turn 1. Snorlax seems very scary with Dynamax. If it's already boosted, jury's out on that one. You could also, if you're worried, you can Dynamax Mimikyu to help it. Oh wait, no, you can't, because then you can't trigger him. Right. Never mind. Okay, I'm just talking a lot. I'm figuring it out as we go. But yeah, basically this team it's a dedicated Trick Room team. If you know your opponent, like if you're prepping for a specific match, you know your opponent isn't like good against Trick Room, or they're not like super familiar with how to play against it. This is a great strategy. This is also a really powerful strategy in general. If you know how to use it, it's very scary. So yeah, Mimilax, and then lastly we have Rain. Rain is one of the kind of the most straightforward offensive strategies, and it's really good at blowing back people who are not prepared. The main, so I guess, sorry, for all these ones, guys, it's just the top 2, and then I have like kind of recommended like possible third ones. But the top 2 are really the main combo, and then like Togekiss is optional. Just top 2 there. Torkoal's optional. You can do other stuff as well. You guys saw that, huh? But yeah, anyway, Pelipper, Focus Sash. Make sure it always lives attacks, at least one attack. Ludicolo is your sweeper in the main situation. With Dynamax, Ludicolo becomes kind of scary because you can Dynamax Giga Drain, set grassy terrain, and now you've got, Swift Swim Ludicolo with more health in grass. That sounds pretty scary to me. You can also Dynamax Pelipper if you wanted to, have max wind, which I believe raises your team's speed stats, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. But yeah, Fake Out with Ludicolo is optional. You can also have Protect on that slot. You can also put Hurricane on Pelipper. I personally prefer Scald. I know Tommy Coolin at one point in 2017 when he was doing this ran Brine on over Scald. So you have options. A lot of this is customizable. The idea here is that Rain is just very strong. It's powerful water type attacks are hard to deal with, and you have the ability to, using Dynamax, reset your Rain without switching, which seems really scary. So Ludicolo and Seismitoad are the best sweepers here. The best swim sweepers that I've seen so far. Seismitoad, it doesn't get any physical water type moves. It's just kind of dumb. You could run a mixed attacker. You can run Specs. You can do a lot of stuff. You can put Specs on Ludicolo, though I think Life Orb or Assault Vest are probably better. You can also run a different item on Goodra. Like you can run a Reduction Berry, like a type reducing berry, like Haben Berry, weaken Dragon moves, or Rosalie Berry, weaken Fairy moves, and run Rest on this set as well. You can do Power Whip with Goodra. You have a lot. You can run Dragon Pulse if you don't want to only have Draco Meteors, just Stab. Gets a lot of options. But yeah, these are just kind of some of my initial thoughts and like places that I would start looking if I happen to have a match coming up, because these are strategies that, while they're not unbeatable, while they're not probably not things that we'll see, with some exceptions, like maybe Mimikyu I would expect to stick around for a while. Rain will definitely have a big presence, but like even in general, like these strategies are ones that that can give you an edge in the early metagame if you have a tournament, if you have a PC or an MSS. Or if you just are playing with friends and you really want to smack them around. So, yeah, these were just kind of my initial thoughts of places that I would start looking for combos, but I think that's about it. I think that's all I wanted to say. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. I know this is a bit more, we're moving more towards analytical content as we get closer and closer to Sword and Shield, as my brain heats up and moves even faster. So, yeah. So let me know what you thought about this content. I definitely enjoyed kind of this more analytical content as well, as those of you who've been watching me know. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know if there's other strategies that you think are strong that I missed. And I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Peace.